On the night of the 2nd and 3rd of August 1944, almost 3,000 men, women, and children belonging to the Sinti and Roma minorities were murdered by the Nazi regime in the gas chambers at Auschwitz. It's estimated that between 25 and 50% of the million or so of the Sinti and Roma populations in Europe were probably exterminated. That is what the European Holocaust Memorial Day for Sinti and Roma marks today. But it's actually much more than that. Today, my United Nations mandate on minorities is issuing a press release which warns that just as members of the Jewish, Sinti, and Roma minorities were portrayed as alien to the nation, as others that were also perhaps even threats to the values and culture in Nazi Germany, Sinti and Roma again today are facing a backdrop of increasingly divisive rhetoric. And perhaps we forget that the Holocaust did not begin with gas chambers. It started with hate speech against minorities mainly. The Nazis effectively used propaganda to win the support of millions of Germans, to facilitate persecution, war, and ultimately genocide of the mainly Jewish, Sinti, and Roma minorities. Unfortunately today, we have social media platforms, again amplifying intolerance and prejudice, and allowing thousands of little Joseph Goebbels to spew propaganda of hate and racism, reaching almost immediately huge numbers of people and causing real harm, literally leading to individuals around the world being vilified, lined up even, lynched, sometimes killed, because they belong to dehumanized others, usually overwhelmingly targeted minorities. I therefore called for this day, marking the Sinti and Roma genocide, be used also as an opportunity for greater acknowledgement of the Sinti and Roma genocide in order to address, as a matter of urgency, the increasing intolerance, demonizing, and hate speech targeting of Sinti and Roma and other minorities around the world. States must do more to proactively combat rising signs of intolerance and racism and attacks against Roma, Sinti, and other minorities, particularly in social media and in hate crimes. I also gave this warning that minorities are experiencing significant increases in hate speech, but also targeting by politicians and others where they are stigmatized as threatening, perhaps even somehow dangerous others. States must not forget the Holocaust of the Sinti and Roma. They need to reflect and act to address the sometimes exclusion and discrimination too many still face today, also experienced by many other minorities as well, that states absolutely have to look at more concrete steps to address the increasing high levels of hate speech in social media as propaganda mediums of intolerance and even tools of incitement to violence and discrimination. Now, despite the real progress that has been made by many Sinti and Roma minorities in Europe, this virtual commemoration ceremony of the European Holocaust Memorial Day for Sinti and Roma is a significant event because it not only acknowledges what has occurred in the past, it can also serve to focus on the need to do a lot more, that we need to continue to fight for and protect. And what that is, specifically, is the full respect of the human rights of Sinti and Roma minorities, and as well as that more can be done, more must be done, to recognize the continuing and perhaps exacerbating instances of racism, intolerance, and exclusion experienced by Sinti, Roma, and other minorities. This is essential because of the real possibility that racism and discrimination will get worse unless governments are more proactive against hate speech against minorities and other Roma, Sinti, and other minorities. Remembering the genocide, remembering history, means living also responsibility for today, for the present, and for the future. And that means taking steps to defend the rights and even the lives of society's most vulnerable and marginalized. This commemoration by the Central Council of German Sinti and Roma, the Association of Roma in Poland, in cooperation with the Auschwitz-Birkenau State Museum, is an important part in the necessary remembrance of what has occurred, but also to remind us, all of us, that we need to be vigilant so that it never happens again. Merci. Thank you.